partnering to win. Could you be a little more specific on that? Does this also entail transfer of technology to countries that are interested in partnering with you? And do you have any limitations on that? For instance, if you wish to partner a country in India, a country like India, would you also be open to the idea of transferring technology? Because India has a huge space program, and they also collaborate with their armed forces. How do you see that?
Well, thank you for the question. Indeed, it is an important one. In particular, referencing India, I had the privilege and honor of going to India to be the keynote speaker when I was at NASA for the 50th anniversary of your space program, and that was a tremendous time. But I'll use that as an example of the United States writ large, whether it be NASA or whether it be the United States Space Force. We are absolutely interested in partnering with like-minded nations, allies, and coalition members because we believe the richness and diversity of sharing and the richness and diversity of cooperation leads to better outcomes. In particular, when we talk about technology sharing, one of the elements that we are guided by is some U.S. laws and policies, particularly related to the international reduction, or ITAR, international traffic and reduction in arms, is an important driver. But at the same time, we also try and actively look for areas where collaborative, cooperative, information exchange, knowledge partnerships, joint or collaborative efforts, exercises, training, and other types of programs make sense. This can occur both at the government-to-government level. It can occur at the interagency or the interdepartmental level with industry and with citizens, and as well as across the educational elements. So yes, there's lots of opportunities, and I believe with India being the largest democracy in the world, I think there's already a deep and strong structural relationship. As we look at the importance of space, one thing that was highlighted by my trip there to India in the past is in those 50 years, it was clearly focused on the benefits to India, the Earth imaging, the ability to share educational tools and connectivity across the populations. We strongly and firmly believe those are important endeavors to enhance the safety and security and knowledge of all. But I think as we look at your very own human spaceflight programs, and I asked the question, they said because the future is filled with prosperity from, in, and to, and through space, we also share those same ambitions. As we look at your successes, I think there's lots of fertile cooperation potential. And as we are clearly focused on protecting the space for the utility of the United States and our partners and allies, I think this is an important area forward. So the short answer is yes, there's lots of opportunities there, and we continue to look for those opportunities together because the Indo-Pacific region is an absolutely incredibly important area for us in the United States, and we know that your deep knowledge and experience will only make both of sides of the relationship stronger.
May I just ask a small follow-up question?
Yes.
You have different sets of regulations for NATO members, so-called allies.
We do.
And you have a different set of requirements or restrictions which are applied to non-NATO members. So where does India figure? Although it's a friendly country, India is part of the Quad, as you know.
Yes.
How would you designate India exactly?
I would designate India as a very important participant, true, not a NATO member, but the Quad is indeed a recognition of the critical importance of the Indo-Pacific region and the key partners and players in that. And I think as we look at India and Japan and Australia and the United States, that unique relationship there is one which I personally and we organizationally would like to see expanded and grown further. I must say that I am very impressed by the array of progress and most importantly, the affordability and creativity and efficiency by which India has made significant strides in space, whether that be in launch, whether that be in spacecraft, whether it be in hypersonics or reusable vehicles to exploration of Mars. I think there's lots of opportunities there, and so on behalf of not just the United States, but also the United States Space Force, I think that's an area that we would definitely be interested in forward dialogue and constructive dialogue that leads to productive outcomes.